Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It's good to have everyone join us. Hi. Hi, Pauline.
Hi, thank you for inviting me. Looking forward to this.
Awesome. Great. Francine.
Hi, good
Ready?
morning, afternoon, everyone.
So we're just going to wait a little bit for a few seconds to have more people join us, and then we kickstart in a bit. Just some few minutes. Um, few minutes. We'll start in a bit. Few minutes. Okay. Good afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. Hello, and it's yet another episode of Empower Her Balance. This is a monthly podcast. It's a monthly podcast series designed to help professional women navigate the complexities of maintaining harmony in their professional and personal lives. I'll just go into a little preview while we wait for other people to join us on this particular episode. And it's great to have amazing women join us this afternoon. Is wherever you are, maybe it's morning. I believe it's morning from Francine's side, right?
Yes, it's morning.
Welcome. Please, you could just drop your chat if you're joining us from other platform and you're unable to speak. Please drop your location. Let us know where you're joining us from the chat, and you could also state your channel as well. If you're joining from LinkedIn or from YouTube, you could state that and drop your location. I'm joining from United Kingdom, and um, Francine, you're in United States, right?
Yes, I'm in Florida, sunny Florida.
Florida. Beaufort, sunny here as well. So we just wait for a few more minutes and then we can start. A few more minutes, please. Let's just go ahead and drop our location, and then we'll give ourselves a few more minutes to kickstart. So again, if you are also joining us, would like to drop this question and would like you to contribute by typing your response in the chat. Could you tell us your perspective on the importance of mentorship to career development? I'm also going to post that question on the chat. So please do give us a response. We are here to learn from one another. Hi, I see Teresa joining us from BC.
From
Thank you so much,
Canada.
Teresa. Teresa is joining us from LinkedIn. And I could see April. April is joining us from LinkedIn as well, from Atlanta. Thank you so much for being part of today's episode. It's going to be a great one. Thank you so much. And we also have a question as well on the chat, just to hear everybody's opinion on today's topic. Could you tell us the importance of mentorship to career development in your own words? Would like to read from everyone on the call. Please drop your contribution. So again, we're here to chat about mentorship, empowering professional women for success. If that's what you're looking forward to learning, I would say that yes, you're in the right place. Um, we're going to build on our previous discussion on mentorship. We started something amazing last episode, discussing mentorship, how mentorship uh, help us in achieving our career goal in life and scaling to that position where we're actually looking forward to. So we are actually building on that particular discussion we had. So if you like to catch up on the previous episode, where we we discuss is the topic inspiring high achieving women to excel and flourish. You could catch up that particular episode on our YouTube channel, where we actually brought Septi, a high achieving academia, who had been able to achieve great exploits in academics and currently running a PhD on full scholarship. She was able to share her story with us on how she navigated the academic pursuit, and it was very, very inspiring. So in the course of that particular episode, we mentioned mentorship. We had inspiring contribution from women on the call that day, and we decided to dig deeper today. We brought Francine, and we have other amazing women that will be contributing to the topic today. So it's so great. I'm excited, and I'm actually looking forward to so much to learn today. And I believe everybody else on the call is also doing that. We are looking forward to sharing ideas and learning from one another. So without further ado, we'll just go ahead and dive in. But before we do that, I would just like to share a few thoughts around what the community is about, just to bring everybody up to speed, what we stand for, what we hope to achieve. So this is a community that is tailored for professional women. So if you're a professional woman, yeah, definitely you're in the right place at this moment. So we want to jointly assist professional women in navigating the complexities of career and personal life. So our vision is we want to create a world where striving in both professional and personal life is standard, not an exception. It shouldn't be something that you're struggling with. It should be something that is naturally part of your everyday living. So again, what is this space, this monthly space that we have created? What is it about? It's actually created for women who masterfully juggle multiple roles. So the fact that you have a personal life and you have a career is already multiple, and some also have more than they have to, in this situation, manage the family, the home front, children, and all of that. So it's so much. And then deadlines. Let's not forget, for professional women, we deal with deadlines, managing teams, and all those things put together. So we create an environment where we are able to talk about our struggles, our wins, our success stories. So in summary, we are partner in balance. We are your partner in balance. We are here to offer support, resources, and a community that understands and uplifts you. Ultimately, is to provide support for you to take control of your career, well-being, and financial future. So, at so what do you stand to gain by being part of this community? Insight, inspiration, stories, strategies, and these are not stories that we're just going to be giving out. We want to hear from you as well, because it's a collaborative learning environment. We want to learn from one another. We want to uplift one another. We discover that women have been able to achieve so much over time, because of the support that we have been able to provide to one another. We have a lot of women supporting women, and this has helped us immensely, and that's what we're promoting this culture at the moment. So that's just a summary of what the community is about. And here we have would like to showcase various platforms that we're currently in, and would encourage everybody to actually join and be part of the community and daily contribute to to uplifting one another by sharing tips, by sharing stories, by sharing things that would help us to improve and to achieve great exploits as women. So at the moment, before we go in and dive in into the topic for today, we want to actually have a feel of the room. We want to see how we're feeling. We want to share. We want us to give us some emojis to sample how we're feeling. We know we all can't feel the same way. Some of us are highly spirited right now. Some of us are even in party moods. For those of us, if we have anyone joining from Nigeria, Africa, we have loads of parties today on Saturdays. It's usually the Owambe day. So please let us know how you're feeling by simply scanning this code and picking any alphabet of your choice. And then you can tell us how you're feeling today before we go into our subject of discussion. And I will also be dropping the link if you would like to click on the link instead. I'll just drop the link. Please click on the link and let us sample our mood this afternoon. You can click on the link or you scan the QR code. Let's see how we're feeling. It's important for us to have a feel of everyone on the call. Please do scan. Just pick any alphabet and tell us how you're feeling. Yeah, I see some already, so I'm just going to share that in here quickly. I'm going to share that quickly. Please let's know how you're feeling today. So we have someone who's not so happy, then we have somebody who is in a happy mood. Let's share how we're feeling today. And also you could let us know where you're joining us from. You could let us know where you're joining us from. Please let us know where you're joining us from, and then let's have a feeling. Oh, for the why, I believe we're going to uplift your spirit today as we proceed on this important episode. Please let's quickly have that sorted. Oh, okay. I believe the person also said why is only able to achieve one of his main goal today. All right, so let's just dive in. Let us dive in. So we just go straight in. So who is in the room? This is an avenue for you to, if you like to tell us about yourself, so that other people could connect with you. Please feel free to unmute your mic and tell us about yourself. It'd be great to hear from everybody on the call. If you like to introduce yourself, tell us your preferred social media handle. Please do that. Please tell us about yourself if you'd like to do that in a jiffy. Before we go, my name is Folake Ungu. I'm a digital marketing strategist. I also do a lot of branding, maintaining consistency for brands across the digital platform. I'm a very passionate person about women empowerment. That's why this community is created to foster relationship amongst women, to uplift one another. I'm on almost all social media handles. You could connect with me on LinkedIn. You could Google me as well. Then you see everywhere all the channels that I'm currently active in. Please connect with me. And if we have anybody else that would like to that would like to say one or two things about themselves, please go ahead. And if you like to drop a chat, please do that as well. Do drop a chat. We'll read it out loud. Please drop a chat. Yeah.
I'll go next. I'm having difficulty putting anything in the chat that's showing, so I'm not sure what's happening there. I'm Pauline. Pauline Barrett from the UK in north of England. So it's near Chesterfield. I am a fertility expert and have been in the field for many, many years now, about 30, 34 years. I have a passion for, obviously, fertility, reproductive health, and ensuring that all women are aware of their fertility abilities, or those who are having struggles will know where to go. So you'll find me on LinkedIn. I'm currently working in a private fertility clinic, but I've got my own business doing consultations, and I'm a fertility coach as well. Fertility is a big issue. It's been rising for many, many years. And the myth that fertility drops at 35 is not truly factual. It's actually dropping a lot earlier. I'm seeing 20-year-olds, women in their early 30s who are struggling to become pregnant and just don't know about their fertility issues. They may not have issues right now because they're not trying to become pregnant. So I'm really passionate at raising awareness and getting everybody, all women born, to take notice really and find out about their fertility now before it's too late. So that's where I am right now.
Thank you so much, Pauline. It's good to hear from you as a fertility expert, right? I believe I got that correctly.
You did.
Yeah.
So if we have any question, you're just a DM away, right?
Absolutely. You can find me on LinkedIn. I've got a website that we're refreshing at the moment, and Instagram, but I don't use most of the social medias. I think I'm a little bit on the older side for that, so trying to improve that. But yes, LinkedIn and the website, but you definitely can message me, and I urge every woman to find out about their fertility now while they can, before it becomes too expensive. They need to have fertility treatment, and that's nationally as well. It's international.
Awesome. Thank you, Pauline. We have Julian from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much, Julian, for joining us. I think I picked that from the chat.
Yes.
Hi. Do we have any other person I'd like to introduce?
This is Julian.
Julian. Okay, please go on, Julian.
Good afternoon from my end in Nigeria. I transitioned from full-time entrepreneurship to corporate 9 to 5 and started my 5 to 9 p.m. business because I couldn't do away with all the giftings and talents plus skills that I have. I'm very passionate about nano, small, medium-sized businesses when it comes to simplifying marketing and social media fundamentals. Originally, I am a graphic artist and have 20 plus years experience, but I veered into marketing and I'm loving my newfound love. I'm glad to be here in the room, and I am open to supporting and helping on both sides, whether 9 to 5 or you run your own business. And I'm glad once again to be invited here by Folake. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Julian. It's great to meet you. And you're on LinkedIn, of course. We could connect with you, right?
Yes, you connect with me on LinkedIn. That is where I want to be very, very active on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think I can go now. For people that have been on this platform in the past, I'm sure you know me already. My name is Kikelomo Ayombadejo, and I'm connecting from Reading, England. I'm a supply chain professional. I work for a multinational pharma company, and I have my background in psychology and then went into business. I have my MBA, major in marketing, and from there I moved into supply chain, which I've been doing for the past 15 years. So I'm happy to connect with anyone who is interested in growing their career or wants to transition from one career to the other. And I'm not so much of a social media person anyway, but you can find me on LinkedIn with my name, Anyabade Kikelomo Bolande, and on Instagram as Kike the Beloved. That's about it, where I'm active. So I'm really passionate about seeing women thrive in business and in life. I really want to see women become independent and live out their full potential, not, uh, limiting their possibilities or what they can achieve to just family. They can also thrive in their career and whatever it is they put their mind to do. So I'm really happy to see anyone who is struggling to maintain that balance, make prospering or succeeding in family and also succeeding in the professional world. So with my years of doing both together, I know you can really make it happen. So I'm happy to support in that way if you want to connect with me. And I'm also a supply chain enthusiast. So if you want to learn anything in that regard, I'm open to do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kikelomo. Thank you. We have a contribution from April just to set the pace for today's discussion. Mentorship has been essential in my career, guiding me, connecting me with others, and giving me the confidence to succeed, especially as a woman. If you're unable to drop a chat on Restream, if you're currently on Restream and can't drop a chat, you can private chat me. I would read it out. I think you can explore that option to drop your comment at the same time. But I believe anyone connecting from YouTube and LinkedIn are able to actually drop their comments, and would encourage everyone as we quickly dive into today's topic. You could always drop your contribution as we proceed on the chat, and I would read every one of them out at every point in time. So thank you. At this point, we want to meet Francine, who is a celebrity in the room, a guest speaker today. Hi, Francine.
Hi, Falake. Thank you for that. Thank you for inviting me to be able to be a speaker here today. Let me tell you a little bit about me, my history. I started out in hospitality. My parents were restaurateurs, mostly my mother. My father was in real estate. And I thought for a minute there that I wanted to go into the hospitality field. Having my mentor, shadowing other people, I realized, nope, not for me, not for me. So I decided to go into psychology because I wanted to learn how people thought, what made people do what they do. I was curious about that. And I went into psychology, did my degree in psychology, had a mentorship program. It was put on by L'Oreal, 100 Black Women mentorship program that was in New York. We shadowed people within our field for 5 days. And I recognized that the way my mentor did psychology, I didn't want to do it that way either. So I came back, started working with a group of social workers, which got me into social work. The way they worked as social workers was very new and fantastic to me. I was like, I did not know people worked like this. We were going to different group homes and facilities, but we were also having meetings in the most fantastic places, beach restaurants. We're working, but we're vacationing at the same time. It was amazing. That was an amazing 5-year experience in that mentorship program as a social worker. However, I did have a franchise business, which I ran that for 10 years, did that for 10 years. However, as a franchisee, it's kind of like being an employee because you didn't have control over the product, you didn't have control over the price. Mainly they gave you promotional material and you're just supposed to sit there and sell. However, there were many locations surrounding me. with my background in social work and how my mentor and I worked together for 5 years, I decided to leverage my employees by giving them a flexible work week. After I implemented that system, I went from the underdog in my industry to the top retail location for 5 consecutive years until I decided to give that up. I decided to give that up, and that's what got me into corporate social work. Had a passion for how people were working and how much our work life was affecting everything about our lives, especially as women, because I was a woman leader. And during my tenure managing my location, I was always questioned and given terms like, "Oh, do you think you're a man?" and things like that, because I was a female leader and I had to take on a little bit of the masculine energy because that's what I thought was expected of me during that period of time. And it got me into corporate social work where now I'm focusing on employee well-being and leveraging your team because that's the most valuable resource that you have. And as a business, it's what you spend most of your resources on anyway. So why not leverage your team? Because they're very important to your business and you need them. So when you create an environment, a culture that fosters innovation, creativity, and proper mental health, then the return on investment for the company, for the employee is phenomenal. So that's what got me into that field. That's me in a nutshell.
Thank you so much,
And
Francine. Thank you so much. It's good to learn about you. And of course, one of the core objective of this community is to meet other people, learn about what they are doing, and then find a way to pick one or two things. Or whenever you have challenges in those areas, or you like to learn more about that particular field, you can always reach out to them. Don't be a stranger. So we just go into our episode highlights. What are we trying to learn today? We'll be exploring mentorship concepts. What's mentorship? What is it about? We want to learn about it. I posted a question earlier on, the importance of mentorship to career development. If you still have one or two things to say, please drop it in the chat. We'll read it out. We'd love to hear from everybody. So in addition to learning about the concept of mentorship, we will be hearing inspiring success stories. We want you to share your success story because that's how to learn. If I'm reading yours, I'm getting inspired and I'm having all the strengths needed to actually forge and go for that which I actually desire and achieve the objective eventually. And lastly, would get expert advice from Francine and everyone on the call who would like to share and strategies regarding mentorship. So again, without further ado, we just go into the concept of mentorship is benefits to young professional women in particular. We are tailoring it down to young professional women. And then the adaptability, how should organization adapt the concept of mentorship and in order to benefit especially their young professionals. They need it more than even the experienced hands that they have on board. So over to you, Francine. Let's just hear from you quickly. And please, if you have anybody on the call who wants to ship in one or two things, please feel free to speak afterwards or drop a chat. Thank you.
thank you for lucky. Mentorship is essential for anybody who's on a professional path because we need to learn. You go to school, you get training, but that gives you a theoretical background into the field that you're going into. Having that mentor that shows you hands-on what's happening within your industry is priceless. And I think everybody needs that. Everybody should have a mentor. And if you're high in your career field, I think that you should explore mentoring other people. As to how adaptable it is within organizations, I know for Lucky that there is one major concern that I hear from team members, especially senior team members, is that feeling that, oh, am I training this person to replace me? So then what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do after I train this person? So there's that insecurity that comes up when organizations kind of, our managers assign senior leaders to mentor other people and train other people. That fear often comes up of, am I being replaced? But if you have a culture within your organization where it's everybody is benefiting, and it's not necessarily a monetary incentive where, okay, I'm going to give you this bonus if you train this employee, that doesn't really give me a feeling of security if my internal fear is that I'm going to be replaced by this person. So that temporary benefit, it doesn't really soothe the fear that that senior employee is probably feeling. If you have a culture where it's about elevating, so I'm elevating you, but I'm also being elevated within the organization. There's continuous learning, there's continuous training, there's continuous room for growth within the organization. Then you find that people feel much better about being a mentor within that setting, and they're more willing, they happily do it if you have that kind of culture. But if it feels like I am being replaced for the younger generation, then I find that there's a lot of resistance that goes with it. So we have to create a culture within organizations of mutual benefit and continuous growth. I find that works best.
Thank you. Do we have any contribution? Anyone that would like to add to that? Okay. So I think at this point, we want us to share. Okay, Pauline, I agree with you. A good mentor can foster great work relationships. Thank you so much, Pauline. We appreciate your contribution. If we have more to say about that, we can please unmute. But if we don't have any additional contribution, please would like to hear from both those who joined us on the Restream platform and are able to speak, as well as those who are on the other platforms that are able to chat. Please let us share our most impactful experience with mentorship and how has it shaped our careers or personal growth. So again, we want to go into details, practical, we want to learn. That's the essence of this discussion. We want to bring it home. So please let's share. Let's share. Do we have anyone? Please let's,
There's
hold on.
Teresa on LinkedIn. She put a comment there. Can you see that?
Okay.
Teresa, she's a sommelier and wine consultant, and she says she has had mentors throughout her career, as well as mentoring the past few years. And mentoring is not only crucial, it is the cornerstone of the Masters of the Wine program.
Awesome.
So yes, there's Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. If you like to join with your video and would like to speak or contribute, I've dropped the Restream link on the chat. You can please click on it and you will join the room. Thank you, Teresa. Do we have anyone who would like to share their success story or their experience, share their experience?
Okay, let me just share my experience quickly. I transitioned to the United Kingdom from Nigeria just some few years back. And I must say that I would not have succeeded without the support of a mentor. And I was so fortunate to have someone ahead of me in the same field who decided to take me up to support me in my career. And he really, really helped to give me all the needed tips to succeed. When coming into a new culture, a new work environment, and you just felt so uncertain about so many things. And one of the things that your mentor will do for you is to build your confidence. And I must say, when you have a mentor that supports you, is going to, as a woman, significantly boost your confidence that, knowing that you have all the help that you need to assert yourself and to actually take on new challenges. So that is one of the core things that it does for you. It boosts your confidence. There were a lot of things I didn't know I could do, but whenever I have all those doubts about my ability, I go back to him, and then, he encourages me, and then I just kind of get my vibe back, and I have a boost. I have that belief, a renewed belief in my ability that I could really achieve those things, that I could take on those new tasks. And another thing is that when you have a mentor, it serves as a role model to you, someone that you can look up to. It demonstrates how you're seeing someone you want to you're looking up to, that you want to be like. And it helps you to manage your perspective, your goal. It helps to sharpen your goal. It inspires you in navigating yourself, through your career. I have a man as my mentor who has been helping me for years now. And one thing you can also do is that have a regular time that you connect with your mentor. So we meet, what I do is we meet on monthly basis. We have a scheduled time that we connect together, and whatever challenges that I have, we can share together. I share it with him, and it helps me. So one benefit of having mentor again is that your mentor helps you to network. And I think that's something that you might want to take away from this session today, because your mentor introduces you to, you as his mentee, to other professional network, expanding your sphere of influence or connection, and opens doors to new opportunities for you. And this is true. One of the reasons why I'm actually able to transition my career from Africa to the United Kingdom was because I have a very good mentor. Another of my mentor, a woman, she's in the US now. She stood up for me, introduced me to people within our own cadre that I could not have known, if I had not had her as my mentor. And I think that is something you might want to leverage on. Look for someone within your organization. I would recommend someone that is above you, someone that you can really learn from, and take them as your mentor. So they are going to expand your network, your sphere of connection. People that you naturally would not have been able to meet, they will connect you to them. They will help you. They will boost your confidence, and they will also help you to sharpen your career goal, your vision, your objective. Help you to break it into manageable, bits, and guide you along the way. So I will just share these few tips, and I know there are so many other things that other people might want to add. That would be my contribution. I would just say that this is something that has really helped me to thrive in my career. And I believe anyone who decides to have a mentor that you can really learn from, it will help you to really go far. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kike Lomo. Thank you. Please, if you would like to share your success story, we'll take that in a few seconds. But let's read what we have on the chat from Nancy. Hello, my friend around the world, women empowerment, and thank you to our supportive male colleagues. It's a good one. Of course, we have men supporting women these days, and it's very, very is a fantastic progress, the way men are now embracing women in leadership. So thank you so much for appreciating the men for taking us in. And mentorship can be women to men, and no need to match man to man, woman to woman, in my humble opinion. Thank you so much, Nancy. Very valid. We heard from Kike Lomo that one of our mentors was actually a man. So it doesn't really matter. It's about finding that person that would give you the necessary support at every point in time. Thank you so much. It's so important to mentor young women. That's from April. Often young women are held back due to the fear by the mentor of being replaced. I think Francie mentioned this earlier about insecurities from the senior colleagues when they are being asked to mentor younger employees. seeing it more like a way. Maybe they are being replaced. Okay, so he's asking the question: what do young women do when they find themselves faced with this? When they find themselves being faced with a mentor who has some sense of insecurity?
And I think I would want her to shed more light on what she meant by saying the fear of being replaced. Because I think the world is getting to that balance level now, like everyone has equal rights in the place of work. I don't think that's a kind of, new, I would say, because I don't think being a woman should be the reason why you would want to be replaced in the place of work.
Okay, Frank,
Uh,
over to you.
it's not gender specific to a woman being replaced at work. It's not gender specific at all. However, there is that fear because companies often, there's ageism that exists within companies. And so, we're humans, and we have insecurities. And it really depends on the culture of the organization. So I'm specifically speaking to being within an organizational space, a workplace. And there are people who have those fears. There are people who have those fears that maybe I'm getting too old for this position, and what they're asking me to do is to train my replacement, which is not gender specific at all. This is people, humans in general. And there are some organizations who actually do that, who actually um, ask people to train other people, and then later on, after that's done, they are indeed replaced. This happens. It's unfortunate, but it happens, and so it perpetuates this fear.
Oh,
If you're within an organization with a culture like that, I recommend, networking. It depends on the field that you're in. There are usually some, let's say for social workers, there's a National Association of Social Workers. So if you are a social worker and you join an organization like that, even if you're working for a specific institution, you can always find mentors within your field who are willing to help you, who don't necessarily have those fears. And it keeps you growing, it keeps you networking and things like that. So in that case, we can't deal with people's individual fears. It's not really our duty to change anybody's minds. And it's usually the culture that cultivates these kind of fears. So my recommendation, as April was asking, is if this exists within your culture, within your organization, try to network outside of that. There's LinkedIn. There are organizations like NASWA, Shroom. It depends on the industry that you're really in, so you would have to research and find that. And try to, have different perspectives from different people. You don't have to confine yourself to this single institution if
yeah.
that's the kind of culture that they're perpetuating.
Thank you for that, Francine. Apparently, like you have said, it's not just limited to, or it's not just about being a woman. It could affect either gender, either of the gender, like the fear of being replaced in the place of work. But that is not a good culture to have, in an
No.
organization. Like in my organization, that is a multinational, you can actually have a mentor outside of the affiliate where you're working. I currently have another mentor in the US that I just met. We have like a platform, we call it Career Hub, where you can meet different mentors from different part of the world. So once the person is in your field and you feel that he has some skills that you would like to, learn from or leverage on, you could just connect with them. So, like she has rightly said, look for someone outside of that your organization and connect with them. That at least would allay that fear of being replaced. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Psychological safety is a hot topic right now. That's
Mhm.
from Channel. Thank you so much, Channel, for that contribution. Good morning to you as well. And We have April acknowledging your feedback, Francine, saying thank you to you. Thank you so much. We have some wonderful men that joined us, Hossein from Bangladesh, a graphic designer. Thank you for being part of our program. Thank you so much. Do we have, we just take just one more success story or experience around mentorship for us to learn from? Do we have anybody who would like to share? Anyone on the call? Okay, amazing. So we just go straight to the next question that we have from Francine, and we can also contribute. We're still learning. How do we find mentors, build meaningful relationships? I know this, we've been having talks around it. We're just driving home the point. And what are the mutual benefits of mentorship? Yeah.
Well, for finding mentors, as we touched on the topic, you network, go on professional. I can't talk about LinkedIn enough. That's an excellent platform to network professionally on. And like I said, there are usually large bodies that are specific to your industry. Like I said, for social workers, there's the National Association of Social Workers, which being active in that, it keeps you up to date within the industry, but also connects you to other people who can be possible mentors for you. So that's one way, within the organization, you can look at the culture, for instance, and if it's a culture that, kind of fosters fear about replacement, it doesn't nurture growth, there's not much training going on, then, you kind of have to rethink, is this the place that you want to be in? If you can find somebody within the organization that is, willing to be your mentor, somebody that you can shadow, that's another way. Finding friends. Some of my mentors were family friends, and they weren't even in the field that I wanted to be in. However, they introduced me to many people who were in my field. One of my mentors, he was an obstetrician. I had no desire to do that or ability because I was terrible at science and math, so I didn't want to do that. However, his insights, his input was extremely valuable in guiding my career choices, even though we were not in the same field. So networking, expanding your reach, constantly going to training programs, workshops, continuous growth, especially now in the times that we're living in. We are living in a time where between 2016 and 2020, we had 2 decades worth of change in a 4-year period. So the world is rapidly changing, and people are having fears about AI replacing them. I used to have those fears. However, what I do recognize is, AI can enhance your work, but I don't think it would be conducive to the bottom line of any company to replace humans with AI. Like, who is going to spend the money? Like, who's going to buy your products if we're unemployed? Doesn't make sense. So that kind of allayed my fears about that. As to the benefits of being a mentor, we know what the benefits are of being a mentee, somebody to boost your confidence, all of that. But we as mentors, we have all this knowledge, and we're part of history. Those that are coming up are the future. By mentoring and connecting with these people, you're learning about, how the other generation is thinking. They're teaching you as well as you're teaching them.
Yeah.
It helps to keep you relevant. It helps to keep you, on point of what's going on. Who is it that we are actually preparing for? If we don't know who we're preparing for, what are we actually preparing for? I had a huge issue with the school system, because when I recognized coming outside of school by having mentors, I recognized that school was not really preparing me for a workforce of the future. It was preparing me for the workforce of the past. And so by connecting with people who are actually in the industry, I recognized how much I was missing. I had the theory, but I didn't have the practical parts of it. as well as when I contributed what I learned, what was happening in the world, it was very valuable also to my mentor. So it's a relationship that is beneficial for both parties, I would say. You're boosting the confidence, you're teaching, you're imparting your knowledge on somebody else. You know, we feel good when we're able to give back. It's just how we are as people. We feel good when we are able to give back, and mentoring is just one way of giving back.
Thank you so much, Francie. Right on point. Thank you so much. Yes, we have April's feedback here. Networking has landed me some great mentoring opportunities as well as professional opportunities, and they all started mostly from LinkedIn. Go LinkedIn. Please, if you haven't optimized your page or you've started identifying connections that will be of great benefit to you, I would say that you should do that, because for me, being taking my LinkedIn social space seriously has actually helped me in no small measure in terms of helping me with my current career transition and making me comfortable doing what I'm currently doing, and giving me loads of connection to practice what I've also learned in the course of my transition. Thank you so much, April, for that. No matter how far long you are in your career, you always have something to offer. Thank you so much, Channel. Thank you so much for your contribution. So we quickly go into the what's. What are the specific mentoring strategies that can help young professionals manage their time, reduce stress, and achieve a healthy work-life balance? So how can mentorship do all of these for us that are pretty young? I will categorize myself as a young professional. Don't worry about my age.
Me too. Me too. For me, one of my mentors that got me into social work in the first place, the way we worked was, I thought it was the most awesome thing. I was running a business at the time, which took up a lot of my time, and we were going to at-risk youth facilities
Mhm.
that had some very serious issues. Some were juvenile detention facilities. There was a lot of sexual abuse going on in the homes. There was abuse from the house mothers who were not trained to deal with these psychological issues that the children came into the facilities with. And it was tough. It was tough work. I remember going into one institution in particular, and there was a 10-year-old girl who had she was, she had some serious issues. I won't go into that because it might be too sensitive. And we were dodging, she was like slinging rocks at the car as we were coming in. We were dodging, and I was like, what did I get myself into? Why did I choose to do this? This is not what I signed up for. This was what I thought when I went in. But the way we worked, it was so balanced that there was always time for us to connect in a beautiful environment that allowed us to relax and unwind and let go of some of the things that were happening and unload our psychological traumas that we sometimes received while in the facilities.
Mhm.
And working in that way, it also nurtured our creativity. So we would meet in different beautiful places, have all these things. There are ways to foster your mentorship that actually facilitates balance. You don't always have to be meeting in this structured um, office, very formal kind of way. You can meet in an informal way and you're still doing work at the same time and still being productive. And I find that that is a good way to foster innovation as well, because the way how our brains work when it comes to creativity, when you are in different environments, it stimulates that kind of innovative thought and thinking. And when you're more relaxed, we like to work with people that we like. So when you're more relaxed, there is that tendency to be in a flow state more easily. So, as what I'm trying to say is when you're having that mentor-mentee relationship, I would recommend, based on how I met a lot of my mentors, is meet in different environments. Meet in the workplace, but also try to meet in different environments so that you have that balance. And check your schedule. Make sure that you're not over taxing yourself in
Okay.
terms of, scheduling too much back to back to back, and then you feel burnt out. Assess your situation and work with your mentor based on that.
Awesome. Awesome. So again, some questions to help us with maintaining harmony in our professional and personal lives. How do we prioritize tasks, set professional boundaries, and maintain professional well-being generally from your perspective as a psychologist? Mhm.
Okay. If let's say you're in the middle of your career or you're looking to switch careers,
Hmm.
whenever there is growth, there is change. So as we grow, we become different people.
Hmm.
And what's good for you now in your scheduling may not be good for the future self that you're trying to become. Because the fact that you are um, seeking a mentor in the first place says to me that you are investing in your future self. Is if you take stock of who you are today versus who you are 10 years ago, I'm almost sure, almost,
Mhm.
that none of us can say that we are the same person that we were
No,
10 years ago.
no.
So what's working, is that right? What's working for you now may not be what will work for your future self. I am so big on self-awareness. I'm so big on, you constantly have to be taking stock. And I say stock because we used to be in a business where you'd have to take inventory
Mm.
once per week to see where you are. And I think that's what we should do with our lives as well and our schedules. Take a look at what's working. And if it's, and really take a look at it. Is this working for me? How is this helping me to invest in my future self? If it's not, then you have to reassess it, switch some things around, which is always relative. But the key point is to be aware of how you're spending your time each day and constantly re-evaluating that situation so that you can maintain balance in your life.
Amazing. Thank you. And in what ways do you think institutions can better support women in achieving a healthy work-life balance, particularly in the workplace? So this is us putting words out there so that we can get more support and be able to live more balanced life. Our life is
Okay.
so complex, whichever way you want to see it. So complex. We need help and continuous support. Yeah.
We do. And to be specific to women here, because the question did say women, I would say having a flexible work schedule can be so helpful to women in particular. That flexible work arrangement can help you to balance being a mother, a spouse, um, a professional all at once. Because, you know, I'm going to go back to my previous team members, my employees. That flexible work schedule that I had aligned as my leverage for being competitive within my market, they did not miss PTA meetings. If their child was sick, they had 3 days to stay at home, which they could switch around. They
Okay.
saved money on babysitting.
Mhm.
So instead of taking their children to the daycare or whatever arrangement that was for 6 or 5 days per week, it would boil down to 3 days. Sometimes they did not have daycare at all because they do their 8 hours, and when their child is ready to leave school, they're ready to leave work. So some of them, and I did not have to spend $1 on subsidizing daycare, not 1 cent. It was just through flexible work arrangements. There are women with special needs children who have to be flexible because there are constant appointments with specialists and things like that. And if we are bound to this 9 to 5, 5 days per week, there is no time you don't have any time to do anything. You're constantly having to switch things around to facilitate that. If you have this hybrid or flexible work environment, then that allows that to happen. The next thing is, for women, we're nurturers by nature. And so we're constantly putting other people's needs in front of our own. I would think if you're a company and you can partner with other companies to offer well-being arrangements for women. I would say, I don't know, if there's a spa facility near your institution, you could have some arrangement where women are given discounted spa days or things like that, which would help to foster well-being. Because the truth is that mental health has cost globally $1 trillion per year. And as healthcare goes up 1%, the headcount in the organizations go down by 0.4%. So there is a high correlation between well-being and the cost of the company. So if you invest in these things, in the women in your company who have lives, we have other people to take care of, giving us these incentives, it's not just about money. It's not just about money. We also need to live our lives and have this kind of balance.
Awesome.
So if you're doing these things, also having training for leadership positions, because as women, we lead in different ways than men, and try to change the narrative on female leaders, because there's a huge disparity that's going on there. So we don't want to have to constantly be fighting an uphill battle in order to progress in our workplace.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic ideas. So even if these ideas are not getting to organizations, we can as well suggest these fantastic ideas at our various workplace as things they could incorporate into the company culture and policies, right? So that we could better have an environment where we are able to strive at every point in time and be our best. Thank you so much. I have feedback, contributions from Julian and Pauline. Flexible work arrangement from Julian. That kind of corroborated what you had mentioned, Francine. It also improves all-round wellness, and employees will give their very best. Thank you so much, Julian. That's absolutely correct. From Pauline, being flexible within the workplace for women, yes, flexibility, that's been re-echoed, is very important. Also removes the stigma of women having to attend for female health investigations, or women who are experiencing menopausal issues without fear of discrimination. Like you being able to voice out your challenges, right, Pauline? Am I correct?
Yes, I mean it's one of the big things that we find. Well, I find within my career is women who have to attend for gynae investigations or fertility treatment, IVF cycles. They have to go in their own time or take annual leave, and they keep it secretive from their employees because they fear that if they're trying to become pregnant, which is a human right, then they will be discriminated against and possibly taken away the chances of promotion within the workplace. And with I'm glad to see that women going through menopause is being given a great highlight nowadays. But women do suffer certain times with menopausal symptoms and can't function or don't function to their best ability, but then are overstepped really when it comes to promotion. So it's a difficult thing to get the work-life balance if you don't have if there isn't an understanding to women's issues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pauline. Thank you so much. So I'm dropping the community webpage where we could find out more about the community, how we can support other women. If we have any topic that we think everyone would benefit, if you'd like to be a guest speaker in this in one of our episodes, please, you could just fill the feedback form on the web page, and then we'll definitely schedule for this to happen. Because again, we all want to bring ideas that will help us uh, foster an environment where women not only have a striving personal life, but a professional one also, because it is an all-round thing. We are not only created to for a particular purpose, which the traditional uh, perception of a woman is being a homemaker, right? We're not saying we're going to do away with that responsibility or shun that responsibility. But again, we need to be us. We need to fulfill our individual potential on what we have deposited in us to contribute to the world before we eventually leave. So thank you so much. We hope we have more people visiting the webpage and dropping ideas on what we can do differently, and more topics that we believe will be of will benefit everyone, every woman out there, to live a better life, a more fulfilled life. Thank you so much. So we want to learn from Francine and everyone on the call. If you have personal strategies that you feel every other person can tap into that has worked for you in the past, what are the personal strategies that you have found most effective in achieving balance? Our core objective is to make sure that women are able to maintain balance in terms of pursuing their professional life and personal well-being. Over to you, Francine.
Well, there's one thing I do in particularly, and I find it helps to take care of my balance issues, my work-life balance issues. And it's asking myself frequently, what do I need right now? What do I need?
Mm.
Because as you have stated, is we're expected to be homemakers, we're expected to be nurturers, the one who takes care of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And there is the perception that if we stop to take care of ourselves, we are labeled as selfish and self-serving. However, I've never heard anybody, when you bring your car to the shop for maintenance and tune up, changing the oil, doing all that necessary things that you need to do every 5,000 miles, stopping to get gas. Nobody ever says, "Oh, how selfish." You stop to get gas and we need to go somewhere else. So if machines need maintenance every so often, like for cars every 5,000 miles or so, depending on the make, then what about us? If we are running on operating on being everything to everybody all the time, then when we start to lose our sense of self, when we start to lose our balance, then we become nothing to no one, because now we need help. Now we need to get that checkup. Now we are frustrated and we're resentful. I've been there where I was frustrated and resentful because I had to stop and be doing everything for everybody. And because I was so afraid of that stigma of being um, seen as too masculine, which, yeah, I had to deal with that, being seen as too masculine or selfish. But I knew at the end of the day that if I was not taking care of me, I was going to become a very mean and horrible person, right? And then there's having to deal with that. So I regularly, unapologetically check in and say, what do I need right now? What do I need in order to be the best version of myself? And I give that to myself unapologetically. So that's my take advice to anybody, male or female. Check in on yourself. What do you need? Because we have to be able to put our oxygen mask on first before we can help anybody else. Otherwise, we're just going to suffocate to death.
I like that. We need to put ourselves first. Very, very important. Without us losing what is being associated with us in, wanting to always be there for other people as a woman, but you still need to prioritize you. Um, Very good point, Francine. Thank you so much, Pauline, for your comments. Julian is saying that quit aiming for perfection. Balance is not equal to perfect. Embrace imperfection. Sometimes we need to embrace our imperfection to have that balance.
Definitely.
Yeah. If you keep looking at wanting to please everyone, for instance, or wanting to look perfect to everybody, you're going to eventually lose your mind. I don't know if I'm the only person thinking that way. But absolutely. So
Definitely not. Yeah.
we need to embrace the imperfect uh, portion of our being and learn to accept it. I think to an extent it's going to help individual or personal well-being as the case may be. Thank you
Hi,
so much.
hi, Folake. I'm not able to raise my hand. I would have done that.
Okay, please go ahead, please.
All right. Thank you very much. It might not work for everyone, but there are some things that sometimes just overlook for that time.
Mm,
And rest this body that powers you.
mm,
So in this part of the world, we've been told a lot of do this and don't do that. Sometimes, as you grow, if you really want to be alive for a very long time, just leave those things and pick them up later. Rest, balance, you, being you, and even seeing these things for a while before you pick them up. Don't be in a rush to make everything okay. Be okay so that you can okay things.
Mhm.
I tell people I think I'm the laziest housewife that you can find. I'm sorry. So that thing you want me to do now, and I want to rest, or I have other things calling for my attention, if it's not going to hurt anyone, I will not do it that moment. We'll come back to it. And even if you slip off, even if it's delayed, so far no life will be lost. Sometimes rest. Another way I try to balance my life is to outsource things I know my money can afford me to outsource. Cooking. It might not work for everyone. Please don't do it if it doesn't work for you. So sometimes I calculate the time to go to the market, do this, do that, do that. How about paying someone to do all that? And you've done that bit, then I'm sure for like you know this bit or any at least some of us we've heard the kind of food we eat in Nigeria. Instead of me to go to the market, make the soup, make everything, still sit down, turn semo and do all that. Bring the soup out, turn semo. We are co-creating this thing. So there are some things that you see that by the time you calculate what it will take you to do it all by yourself, and it will take you half the amount or half the cost to outsource it. See if you can outsource that role. Okay, some of us might not have washing machine. So what do? The time, if you are going to spend 30-45 minutes washing, I'm saying this because I'm sure some other people, maybe people from my own client might listen to this later. So I'm speaking from Nigeria. It's not everyone that will have washing machine and you spend an hour washing. How about pay someone to do the washing, or you wash, you pay someone to do the ironing? Look at the things that take up time in your life and see if you can pay people half the price to do it for you, so you save time to also balance who you are and power yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julian. I can relate. So let me just add to what she has said for the purpose of those that are listening to us from Africa, Nigeria, to be precise. The work culture there kind of puts, to an extent, for some organization, I wouldn't generalize, a lot of pressure on women if you have to catch up in,
Mm.
climbing the corporate ladder and getting the promotion that you require. You need to give a good attention to work. You won't be able to do the home front if you're not outsourcing, like she had mentioned. Some of us back then, when I was home, I had to get a nanny. Beyond nanny, I have a cook who comes every weekend to make some time consuming meal that I know I had to work on presentation over the weekend, and I have things to prepare for as team lead or a team manager at a point. So those are the things that you can do to maintain your sanity. But some women sometimes feel they could do it all, because I've had situation where one of my someone that I knew actually collapsed at work. It was a case of trying to catch up with work and doing everything at home 100% by herself. So Julian's point is very, very valid. Try to overlook some amount of money by outsourcing in order to maintain a balance, and then being able to, be you sometimes and have that healthy life as a woman. And then, like she mentioned, so that you'll be able to live long. Definitely, you need to prioritize that. Yes, time consuming meal. Yes, thank you. Anybody from Africa will understand what I mean by time consuming meal, because there's a meal that you can spend up to 3 hours, 4 hours preparing just
Mm-hmm.
so I'd rather spend that hour doing something else if I know I can afford to pay someone to do it for me. Thank you so much, everyone. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. We've learned a lot. I believe so. We have some feedbacks, some takeaways. Please, we would like to hear from everyone on the call. Please scan this QR code and leave us a feedback in terms of your learnings, so that we could share these learnings with other women that are not on this call. So beyond having attendees here, we are able to share these podcasts across various platforms. We are able to restream this on, it's permanently going to be on our YouTube channel. So people are constantly going there, listening to it, and they are able to also pick one or two tips that are of great benefit to them. We have it, or for it will be for a while on LinkedIn, where people can go back and restream. So we would like to hear from everyone areas where we could cut down, improvements, other contributions that we could share with other women to better help them in achieving that harmony that we are all looking forward to. Thank you so very much. We're hoping that we are scanning already and leaving us feedback. We really appreciate that. That would continue to propel us forward, encourage us to continue to, come together on a monthly basis. This is our space to be ourselves, to talk, to relax, talk about our struggles, share our success stories that other people can easily relate with and could help us in any way they can. Ifoma, thank you so much. Said 3 hours cooking and 3 minutes eating. Yes, an African person you can relate. We'll cook a particular soup for 3 hours, you pound yam for another 30 minutes. Then you're going to consume it in less than 5 minutes. It's so funny. So if you have to do everything as a woman, sometimes you won't even be able to eat the food anymore because already tired. So please, let's outsource as much as we can so that we are able to maintain harmony, maintain balance at every point in time. Thank you so much. You can still visit our page to leave your feedback if you're unable to scan the code right now, or you're too busy to fill the short survey. It's very short. We'd like to hear from everyone. And again, one of the things we do in this community is also to in my own way of giving back. I'm not a psychologist. I'm a marketer. I'm a digital marketing expert. And the way I give back as well is to help in one way or the other. If you have any digital initiatives that you want me to assist you with in terms of strategy or actually carrying it out, please do feel free to drop me a DM, or you could send me an email. So every month we take on one particular digital initiative for a member of the community. I think in the previous episode, we've done a brief portfolio free hosting website for one of the community member, where we are able to put together her expertise for the past 20 years. My very able person, she's on the call right now. She's always supporting this community, and we're able to put together a portfolio. If you go to the website, you'll see the portfolio that we're currently working on for her. She's been so busy for us to perfect it, but at least you can see what we have put together. And last episode, it was Kikelomo's turn, who won a LinkedIn banner and the a LinkedIn banner and headline review through our digital initiative. You can see the before and the after. Isn't it looking amazing? She had this blank, generic banner, and we were able to work with her to put something that aligned with what she would like to project as a brand, given where she works. And of course, we did something for her that she really loves. So if you want to do anything around any digital initiative, a branding and digital marketing strategist. I could help in any way. You could read more about me. You can visit my website and read about my area of expertise. Don't be a stranger. I will be willing to support. It's not all about money. Please, it's about giving back and supporting other women. I'll be glad to. So again, in our social community, would appreciate if we could support us in our social media handles. These are we built this Instagram page recently, and we've been trying to put in some tips, some codes that could help uplift women. Please visit and be a part of the community as well. Support us in any way we can. And this is the overall community that we have. Please do scan the QR code, join any of our platforms, and support us. And we would love everyone to even contribute. If you have any topic in mind, please, that everybody's going to benefit, let's bring it forward by filling a form on our Google site. Please drop us a comment. And thank you, everyone, for being part of today's episode. I really appreciate everybody on the call. April has been so active. Nancy, thank you so much. Julian, thank you so much. Ifoma, I really appreciate you always being present. Kikelomo had to dash off, and so also was one of our contributors. I think Shannon had to dash off as well. And to our able Francine, thank you for making you to talk for a long time. Yeah, thank you so much.
I enjoyed it. Thank you for.
Hope you'll be back soon to give us more psychological tips and well-being tips. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful weekend, everyone.
Beautiful weekend. Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Wherever you're joining us from, thank you so much for being part of today's episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye. Have a lovely weekend.
Bye, everyone.